Well, the staff has been going crazy because this interview is what we've been waiting for, and that is with the man, the myth, the legend. I like to call him a bear because that's what I am. The Bears. It's Mr. Merril Hodge with us. How are you, sir?
Brad, I'm good, brother. Always good to see a bear.
Yes, that's it right there. All right, and I know you got the Pittsburgh there too. Well, yeah. Anyways, but the Bears.
Walter Payton.
There it is.
Payton right there.
Yeah. So, how are you doing? What have you been up to lately?
Well, I've been staying busy, to be honest with you, Brad, doing a bunch of things. Well, let me back up. I'm no different than a lot of people when COVID hit. Your purpose got taken away, because I do a lot of motivational speaking and inspirational speaking throughout the country, maybe 30, 35 a year. Done. Really what I did with sports, done. So you have to find different purpose, and different ways to channel those purposes. So I've tried to work on a bunch of things in the book I wrote that I actually just republished, called Find a Way, is really the epitome of situations like that. The words find a way back when I was 12 years old, they inspired me to do one thing. They inspired me to take action. Now, that was action towards a dream I was trying to live, which was playing in the National Football League. But those words have transitioned to me as a parent. They've helped me live a dream and fight to live. I was diagnosed with cancer some 17 years ago. Had open heart surgery 5 years ago. And those words have helped me take action for my circumstances. And what I speak on, and really what the book was about, and really what we're doing this interview about, is doing something to help you in your circumstances. And what's even more important in this case is helping others, serving others, and trying to help others in the process. And that part of the journey I didn't see coming at age 12, not that you would expect it, but it's widened my scope and energized me even in a time where, things were taken away. I found different purposes and different ways to create a purpose.
Yeah, and I like this with the book of Find Your Way and the new publication, because you kind of like taken away of you being the football star you were and putting you as the man that you are. And I think that's what people have to realize, that that's one part of you, but the real part is this book about you yourself, and that's what people have to understand.
Well, I'll tell you this. You'll like this. One of the greatest influences I ever had, indirectly, he impacted my life. He would later directly impact it, but let's go to age 15, where he indirectly impacted my life, was Walter Payton. I'd done a lot of research on Walter Payton. I loved him as a kid. He was my hero as a kid. That's who I idolized to be. That's who I thought was the greatest football player of all time, who I still believe is, pound for pound. And it was an interview process that I heard him speak one day that was as profound an answer to a question that I've ever heard. And I was, 15, so you got to always create the right perspective. Where I was at 15, you're searching for, some type of guidance or direction in helping me achieve my goal. And the interviewer asked him, what makes him better than everybody else? Now, this time, Walter Payton was the all-time leading rusher in the National Football League. And for people who may be watching this, listening to your show, who don't know who Walter Payton was, this was always said about Walter Payton. He wasn't the biggest, wasn't the strongest, and he wasn't the fastest. He's just the best. Now, I'm going to just tell you this. At age 15, that's confusing. Like, well, wait a minute. I thought the biggest, strongest, and fastest are always the best. But what he said in response to that answer really changed my life. It gave me something that I still use to this day. It is a habit and a pattern that I've emphasized. He paused for a second, and he said, as profound as I've ever heard a human being say anything, he said, I want it more than they do. He said, every day of the week. He said, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the off season, at 6 in the morning when I run that dirt hill, nobody wants to run with me. I want it more than they do. He said, during the week when we're practicing, 65,000 fans aren't in the stands, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I want it more than they do. He said, now 1 o'clock on Sunday, that's all that you really see. I want it more than they do. Well, that transformed me as a kid. I'm 15 years old, and I'm like, here's what I heard. I can do that.
Yeah.
Actually, there's not a human being that can't do that. And it doesn't have to apply to sports. It can apply to life and to passions and to circumstances. It's the everyday thing that really has resonated with me over time. Wanting it, everybody wants it.
Yeah.
You know, you I want it. And then you start going, well, here's what you got to do. And then the hands go, oh.
Yeah.
Then it's every day. But then it's just about a mindset and a habit, and you create those patterns in life. I'm grateful that I learned that lesson at a young age from, you know, a guy that I idolized, and it's transformed into every aspect of my life.
Right. So, hey, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Come back. Let's talk more, because you're also out to help student athletes. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with more of Mr. Hague after this moment. So stick around. We got more of the Daily Mix coming up right after this. Welcome back to the Arizona Daily Mix. We just were talking with Merril Hodge about Find Your Way, his new book, and who inspired him. Walter Payton, the man, the myth, the legend himself. I've met Walter. He's a great guy. But what's really great now is that you're out to help student athletes in a great way, and that is by making sure they have the tools to fulfill their dreams. Let's talk about you being the ambassador for Kara Sports.
Yeah, well, Brad, you know, sports were such an influence and impact in my life. Without them and without those, you know, listen, I wouldn't be where I am today. That's a clear fact. And having a purpose, you know, this is no different no matter what age you are. Purpose is important. Kids, oftentimes activities in sports, that's their purpose. And, you know, we don't want anybody with any economic barriers to struggle being able to compete or participate in sports. So to be able to create these options for kids, especially in the environment that exists today, is such a critical mission. We want to accomplish it. And it's not just about physical health, Brad. I mean, when you're actively taking care of yourself and you're actively stimulating yourself and your nutrition is right, that is also about mental health and brain health too. You know, it's not just the physical aspect, because when we say physical, it should include mental health, but people forget that. And it's a vital component to helping our kids. And I'm passionate about, you know, helping, you know, in all areas that we can, that kids have opportunities to play all kinds of sports.
Yeah, and it's great. And I know we have information. They're having a fundraiser going on right now that is really great that you're a part of. And a lot of athletes and celebrities have stepped up to be a part of this. It was amazing. So we appreciate you doing that. I'm going to switch gears a little bit because, you know, you're sitting there, you got to ask, and very quickly, what do you think of this season? Who should I go put my Vegas dollars on for?
Well, I don't think you're going to lose much if you put something on the Kansas City Chiefs as they look right now, you know, from the AFC. And, you know, geez, if you had to take a front runner in the NFC, you might look at the Packers, you know, right now. Now we're early in the season, but those two teams are clearly teams that are front runners and look as strong as any.
Well, all right. I'll take your word for it. We'll see there. And again, tell people where they can find more about you and your books.
Yep. You just go to merrilhodge.com. That can give you everything that we talked about, and the karasportsfoundation.org. So that can help you with another resource to help you with serving other kids and helping kids and keeping them active. So I appreciate you giving me the time, and good luck to the Cardinals out there. And I miss Arizona. I used to live out in Arizona, so I miss Scottsdale area.
So, well, you know what? When you do come back to visit, you have an open door to come onto our show, and we'll talk from of course, motivating people to football. So we could do both of it.
I'm in.
So perfect. Hey, thanks for joining us this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks, Brad.